32, Walter Sugarski. Batting 6, designated hitter, number
Welcome to a sunny day in One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas, as we're here for Game 3 between Babson and Trinity. The Tigers will try and bust out the broom, having won the previous 2 games. I'm Cole Isaacson, joined by Reed Rosales, as you see the Babson starting lineup on your screen. Leading it off for the Beavers, it'll be Tanner Santos at second base, followed by Chris Basile at first. Then Luke Tanner, the graduate student, followed by Brant Savage, who hit 2 home runs yesterday. Then Walter Sadowski in left field, followed by Ryan Hosdovic, Ike Kiley in center, Wilson in center field, and then Jack Julian at shortstop.
Yeah, this is a Babson lineup, certainly with a sour taste in their mouths after yesterday's affair. Had a 9-run lead heading into the 8th, but a 10 spot by the Tigers ended up winning them that game. Babson certainly looking to put the Tigers away and get a game out of this opening series.
And looking to prevent that from happening is the pitcher for the Tigers, the reigning SCAC pitcher of the year, Jackson Tier.
Yeah, Tier has been all reliable for the Tigers for the starting pitching department. First no-hitter thrown since 2017 last year against Austin College. He has some really nasty stuff. He's so good with his control and command. Jackson Tier, what can we say about him other than he is an S-tier pitcher for the Tigers?
And he will try to continue what was a marvelous season last year. Tier with an ERA below 2 at 1.95, definitely deserving of that title, SCAC Pitcher of the Year. We're about to get started in Game 3. Trinity up 2-0 in this best of 3. Babson will try to salvage a game. The Tigers go in for the sweep. And the first batter for Babson, Tanner Santos, as the first pitch is away, and we're underway from San Antonio.
When Babson comes here every year, it's a tough game. And Tier looking to break the theme of rough starts for these pitchers.
Inside 2-0.
Because as we've seen multiple times, other than Trajan Lee yesterday near the end, a lot of pitchers that come in here for the opening series, they tend to have some struggles at the beginning. We'll see how Tier does as this first inning transpires.
Up high, strike 1. So Tier, quick 2-0 count. Able to collect the first strike of this at-bat. Fouled off, and it's 2-2.
Good position for Tier early on. Want to record the first out with the first batter. Sets a good tone and a good precedent for the rest of the game.
Santos yesterday, 2 of 5, 2 base hits to end his outing, and swings through that one for strike 3. So 1 batter, 1 strikeout for Jackson Tier.
Nothing more you can really ask from Tier. Worked the zone well. Santos was going back to the dugout, left guessing what was coming next.
Now Chris Basile, the first baseman, has had a lot of success in this series, hitting .444 in 2 games as he takes strike 1.
It's been really good in this series, as you said, Cole.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Right now, maybe guessing at what's coming next. Tier quickly puts him in a hole.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Lazara has to collect it, but throws to first with no problem, and there's 2 down in the inning.
Bit uncharacteristic from Basile, I would say. And Tier just really went after him. That breaking ball, just the table falls from under it. You can see it right there. Great pitch, and Basile and Santos have been retired very quickly by Tier.
Now the graduate student Luke Tanner, playing in right today, takes strike 1. Tanner made 2 starts in center field, hitting .222 in this series. Inside ball 1.
Tier looking to be maybe one, if not the only pitcher to have a 1-2-3 inning to start off the day. trying not to let Babson have any base runners here in the top of the first.
1-2 as that breaks back in.
Just such a smart pitch call there, going with that pitch near the outside part of the plate, and a good frame by Lazara as well to bring it in, just to add an exclamation point to the pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jackson Tier strikes out the side as 1-2-3. The Beavers go down in the top of the first. The Tiger bats will be up when we come back. Welcome back to the bottom of the first on Tiger Network. You see the Trinity lineup on your screen that will go in for the sweep of these Babson Beavers. Leading off for the third straight day in right field, Maddox McDonald, followed by Preston, Lazara doing the catching for all 3 games, Christian Holloway at third base, Alex Monson, Colt Harris, Jack Peterson in center, Jack Baker hitting 8th, and Corson Hastings at first base, making his first start of the year. And on the mound for Babson, it's Clark.
Yeah, another young pitcher for these Beavers, sophomore out of Southborough, Massachusetts, looking to get Babson off to a much better start. Starting pitching yesterday for both sides was very good, but then when they dug into the bullpen, things got a little out of hand. So really, they're going to be relying on these starting pitchers to go as deep as they can.
Out of hand is a way to say it, a 15-14 final score. A 9-run inning put up by the Beavers, a 10-run inning put up by the Tigers to ultimately get the win. As the first pitch is low and away for ball 1. Maddox McDonald yesterday, 2 for 4. Takes strike 1 on the outside edge. McDonald struck out twice in back-to-back at-bats, one swinging and one looking. He also reached in his first at-bat back-to-back days. Take strike 2.
Yeah, Clark working that outer part of the plate there, getting those 2 strike calls.
Good take, outside 2-2.
Yeah, and if it works 2 times, why not try it a third? It's a good idea from Clark.
There's strike 3. McDonald goes down looking, and all 4 batters in this game have struck out.
Yeah, Clark may think he has found a blind spot for McDonald because that's 3 pitches pretty much in the same location to catch him looking.
So McDonald goes down looking, and it brings up the left fielder, Ty Preston. Preston's been in left field all 3 games. Take strike 1. Preston is .365 hitter last season. Grounded. Good play by Santos, but the throw not going to be in time. Ty Preston reaches a base hit for number 20.
You see it right here. Just a little grounder, just far enough, and a good play to keep it from going into the outfield, but just too fast. You're not going to be throwing out really many people on this Tiger squad. We got a lot of fast players on this Trinity team this year.
Yeah, it looks like Ty Preston needs a minute for whatever reason. A little bit of a limp there.
I wonder if stepping on the base awkwardly.
And they're going to have somebody check on him. And we'll take a break on Tiger Network. And welcome back to Tiger Network. You see Ty Preston walking back to the Tiger dugout. Max Milligan will pinch run for him, as Ty Preston will exit this game after a base hit. Brings up the catcher Nick Lazera with a runner on first and one out.
It's going to be interesting to see how Milligan fills into this lineup. Milligan, haven't seen him that much this series.
There's strike one to Lazera. Milligan did pinch hit yesterday. Was the last batter of that immaculate 8th inning run by the Tigers. Grounded out for the final out of the inning. And they'll check on him at first base. Milligan back safely.
Right now, Clark really working that lower part of the zone. He hasn't really thrown anything into the top of it. It's what he's comfortable with.
Outside, 2-1. Clark made 9 appearances last season for Babson, 5 starts. Getting a chance on a team that's depleted with starting pitching. So many exits from last season as he checks on Milligan again. Closer, but no dice.
I got to be careful. Neeskins did throw out Peterson yesterday, so Babson pitchers may have been practicing their pickoffs.
Fouled off by Lazera. Now they're saying fair ball. And we'll see how close this one was.
Interesting. Look, from our angle, at least, it looked like it was going foul. Look and see where the ball lands. There it is right there. You see it on the center of your screen. And, yeah, lands pretty much right on the line into the Tiger dugout.
Right
That's a ground rule double.
Right on the line. Lazera will take second. Milligan moves over to the third, and 2 runners in scoring position for Trinity. So Babson, who had hoped to rebound from the brutal way the game ended yesterday, not a good start. And the man who did the damage, Christian Holloway, up. Holloway, the game-winning grand slam in the 8th inning.
It's Holloway who started it all as well. That ground rule double.
Ground ball. Clark has to field it, and it hits Holloway. Looks like the runners stay where they are. And we'll see what this means. Looks like Coach Noon's arguing that Holloway got in the way of the path of the throw.
I wonder how convincing that argument's going to be. Is he just a little dribbler, a little hesitation in fielding it? I'm not sure.
Where else are you supposed to run?
Yeah. Normally that call is reserved for when you line it into your own player. But on a throw like that, I think you're going to be hard-pressed to find a convincing argument.
So Holloway will post up at first base. So the base is now loaded. Only one down for Alex Monson, making his first start of the series. So that one nearly gets away. Good job to get in front of it by Ike Kiley.
And a good catcher to have in the situation with Kiley. It's a very fickle situation right now with the bases loaded and one out. They're really going to try and induce an easy ground ball to turn a double play.
Monson fouls that to the Tiger bullpen, and the count is 1-1.
For Trinity, sac fly opportunity on the table for them. All they need to do is just hit it as far as they can into the outfield.
Low ball 2. Tigers have scored in the first inning in both games. 4 runs in game 1, and a sac fly from Calcone yesterday to give them an early lead. Fouled off, 2-2.
Good way to battle back for Clark. Now on the better end of this 2-2 count because certainly the pressure's on Monson here to deliver.
Hit to center field. It gets down and finds the gap. This is going to score some runs. One comes through. Here comes Lazera. Holloway rounding third. He comes in to score. And they get Monson trying to go for 3. So Babson just decides to not throw it home, goes to third base. They get the out there, but the Tigers score 3 runs.
Yeah, great little ball out into that center to left alley. It rolls almost all the way to the wall. I know it does roll all the way to the wall. Bounces off of it. And maybe just a little too optimistic to go for third there. Thrown out pretty easily. But either way, it's bases clearing and the Tigers are up by 3.
Sadowski throws it from the outfield. Savage applies the tag. And the bases are now clear with 2 down for Colt Harris. Monson thrown out there, but either way, has to be pleased with what he just did, putting the Tigers up 3-0. Harris checks his swing, and it's 1-1. Grounded but foul. And it's 1-2.
And a big moment for Monson there. Being in that DH position, you're there for one reason, and that's to hit and to bring home those runs. You're doing your job well.
Strike 3 as Harris goes looking, but not before the damage is done. A bases clearing double by Alex Monson gives the Tigers the 3-0 lead. Welcome back. Top of the second on Tiger Network. Trinity opening up a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the first. Jackson Tier back on the mound, and he'll have to face Brant Savage, who hit 2 home runs in yesterday's game. Ball one inside. Saw the OPS on your screen through 2 games. 1.5. Wolf.
And right now, one of the best hitters of all time.
Strike called on the outside edge.
And you are right to take caution with him. But for Tier, I'm sure he wants to go right at him. Just the kind of pitcher he is. Doesn't shy away from a challenge.
That pitch works its way back in the zone. It's 1-2.
I think both pitchers realizing that outside part of the plate, getting the calls from the umpire. If it's working, you're going to keep throwing there.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Lazara has to go back and get it. This could be a close play. Throws in time to get him at first.
A close play indeed. Tier wipes Savage away with a nasty pitch. And Lazara, man, that was quite the throw over to first. Oh, good play by Corson Hastings there to stretch and pick that one away. It was a tough play, but the Tigers were able to make it.
Now Walter Sadowski up for Babson, hitting .400 in this series. Of course, yesterday's game helping a lot of OPSs around both of these teams. Jackson Tier trying to settle that down a little bit. 2-0 count to Sadowski. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Good job inducing the swing there. Don't want any batter to be, have the luxury of a 3-0 count. Now it's 2-1.
2-2.
Just the way Tier throws it. Bat goes right through the ball almost.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 batters, 5 strikeouts for Jackson Tier.
Jackson Tier is just hot start. 5 strikeouts, 5 batters. He's doing wonderfully right now.
Now up for the Beavers is Ryan Hosdovic. Take strike 1. Hosdovic DHing today just like he did in game 1. Played in right field yesterday. Or strike 2, and you saw the OPS for Hosdovic. As some of these are just through the roof because of these last 2 games. 8-2 in the first game, 15-14 yesterday. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 6 batters, 6 strikeouts for Jackson Tier. 1-2-3, the Beavers go as we head to the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second, game 3 between Babson and Trinity. Tigers with a 3-0 lead, looking for the sweep of the Beavers today, and Jack Peterson leads off the second for Trinity. Peterson, the center fielder out of Round Rock, Texas. Hitting .250 in this series. Take strike two.
It's good to see Clark still being aggressive in the zone, not letting those 3 runs perturb him at all.
Outside ball one. Peterson hitting 8th, but a dangerous hitter for the Tigers. Hitting .289. Slug of .422. But where he's really dangerous is if he gets on first base. He won't here though. Strike 3. Kiley has to throw him out, does so successfully. And there's 1 down in the inning.
Yeah, great pitch from Clark there. A lot of batters biting on the breaking balls today. And Peterson, fortunately for him, no different. Just, you want to see a magic trick? It's that breaking ball right there. Peterson had no chance.
So between Tier's 6 Ks through 6 batters, Clark has 3. So we've had 9 strikeouts in the first 2 innings already. It's Jack Baker up for Trinity. He takes strike 2.
Maybe it's either aggressive pitching or undisciplined batting. You make your own conclusions, viewer at home.
Ball 1. Some nasty break on that.
Nasty break is right. I would swing at most of these, I think, Cole.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for James Clark, and there's 2 down in the inning.
Now just working so fast. Clark, after the thematic rough start that every starting pitcher has had just mowed through 2 Tiger bats like they were nothing.
And a quick meeting from catcher Ike Kiley. I'm assuming telling him to keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work. What are you taking? What did you eat for breakfast this morning? What are we going to do for Corson Hastings, perhaps?
Hastings, no hits on the season so far, making his first start of the year. Take strike 1. How much of this do you think is just the first time through, or do you expect both of these pitchers to continue this second time through?
Oh, we'll see once we do reach the second time through, because right now it is quite the show. I'm sure the Tiger bats are certainly eager to get back there, definitely the ones that struck out, because when you strike out, you tend to get a little tilted.
Hastings avoids that by fouling off. Still an 0-2 pitch coming up.
Of course, ideally, you'd like to think you get better each time you see a pitcher. But sometimes when a pitcher's on a roll, there's nothing you can do to stop them.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tier strikes out the side. Clark strikes out the side. End of 2 on Tiger Network. Welcome back. Top of the third on Tiger Network. Jackson Tier back out there. It's been brought to our attention that nobody has grounded out or flown out in this game. 11 of the 12 outs by strikeout. And then Alex Monson thrown out trying to go to third base as that's strike one.
Yeah, yesterday, it's a tale of two games in D3 baseball. Saw one yesterday.
And ground ball to Harris, nobody covering first base. Tier does so in time for out number one. Good play by Jackson Tier to get over in time and drag the foot.
And now you see the other side of D3 baseball. Two pitchers going at it. Tough ground ball play. Really nice credit to Tier there to get over and cover the bag in time. And a nice throw to Tier. Sets up for a nice play in the infield.
Ball one outside to Wilson, who gets his first action of the season. Alexander Wilson playing center field today. Strike one. And on that ground ball for a second, Hastings went out. I didn't see Tier in the frame. He sprints in just in the nick of time. Popped up. Harris makes the call and the catch for out number two. So just as we say, nobody grounds out or flies out. There we go, back to back.
The baseball gods giveth and the baseball gods taketh away, especially to us poor broadcasters in the booth.
So the F4 for Wilson. Now Jack Julian, the shortstop. Strike one. Julian hitting .429 in this series, OPS well over 1,000. Got a home run yesterday to give Babson what was a 3-1 lead at the time. And we thought it was going to stay somewhere around there. It did not. So Zara tries to frame that one.
And you think with these OPSs, you would think Babson would have won a game.
As that's fouled off. Julian gets himself with that, and he's got to walk that one off.
Yeah, that cannot have felt good. I didn't see exactly where he fouled it off himself. But whenever you foul it off yourself, it never feels good, no matter where the ball goes. Got to take a moment. Plate umpire making sure that he's all right to keep going. Love to see it back in the batter's box.
I can only wonder what feels worse, getting hit by a pitch or fouling it off yourself. I think it's got to be close. Swing and a miss, strike three. The 7th strikeout of the day for Jackson Tier as we head to the middle of the third. Welcome back to the Alamo City. We're here for the bottom of the third, and leading off the inning is the leadoff hitter, Mannix McDonald. He takes strike one. McDonald 0 for 1. He got caught looking. Grounded. And no, lined and caught. And a quick out for Babson as Jack Julian makes the catch.
Yeah, a little hot shot over to shortstop there. Julian in the perfect position. And a very quick out for the Tigers.
Now up the pinch hitter, Max Milligan from Amarillo, Texas. Remember in the first inning, Ty Preston limping as he sprinted to first base. As Milligan went around, it's 0-2.
In a hole quickly. Milligan, maybe a little bit of pressure coming in, definitely when he wasn't expecting to.
Good take. 1-2. Hit to left, it gets down, a fair ball into the Tiger bullpen, and it's an easy 2 for Max Milligan, his first hit of the season.
What a big moment for Milligan there. First time you're seeing the plate, you get a little ground rule double, and maybe they need to raise the fence over there by the Tiger bullpen. That's 2 ground rule doubles this game. Don't see that often.
Well, that's one thing you see with the new renovations from last year. The bullpen cuts into foul territory. So one, there's less foul territory out there, less opportunity to make a play. But second, you're going to see a lot more of those balls skip into the bullpen, creating more ground rule doubles. Lazara takes that for ball 1. 1 down, Milligan on second. Low 2-0.
Even bigger for Milligan. Getting hit off of Clark, who was just in the driver's seat, it seemed, for the past couple of batters, but now breaking his flow, really helping out Lazara.
2-0 to Lazara. Takes ball 3. Something interesting I learned about Max Milligan, his family owns a bee farm. That's strike 1 to Lazara. Apparently they transport honey drums, and the ones they transport have an average weight of 700 pounds. And they have 12 to 15 barrels on each trailer. That's ball 4 to Lazara. Can you imagine that? 12 700-pound barrels per truck.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Don't ask me to do math there. I'm not going to know the answer to that one.
No, me either. And they're all filled with honey.
Maybe that's why you got the sweet hit.
Maybe. As Milligan continues to wait on second base, Lazara at first. As Christian Holloway has runners to work with only 1 down. Holloway hits it into left. Milligan's coming around. Safe. And the Tigers lead 4-0. An RBI single for Christian Holloway.
Just another run for the Tigers to come across the plate. Milligan comes around, gets his run in. Just a nice piece of hitting there. That breaking ball down low, but Holloway says, no problem. Puts it over into left field. Another good run for the Tigers. Now up by 4.
So the RBI single for Christian Holloway. Still runners on first and second for Alex Monson, who has the other 3 RBIs in this game. Was thrown out trying to take third. But a 3 RBI double with the bases loaded. Outside 1-1. So Clark, who had just mowed through the Tigers in the previous inning, 3 consecutive strikeouts, now running into some trouble. Trinity has extended the lead to 4-0. Monson to right. Caught. Runner will tag, both will. Holloway slides in safely to second, Lazara at third, and 2 runners in scoring position for the Tigers.
And that ball had some really good carry on it. You can see the pitch just kind of down Main Street there. Really drove it out into the outfield. Thankfully for Babson, it wasn't gone. Just died out before the warning track, but it does move the runners.
The wind is blowing out to center field, so always concerning when a ball gets hit that far. It'll be up to Colt Harris to move the runners in. Grounded. It's going to be up to Kiley. Throw to first in time. And that'll end the inning. A good play by Ike Kiley, but the Tigers add on another one. It's 4-0 Trinity. Yeah, welcome back to the top of the 4th on Tiger Network. Very special guest, former Tiger pitcher Harrison Durow is joining me. Hey, Harrison, how are you?
I'm doing great. Just excited to watch some Trinity baseball.
That pitch inside on Tanner Santos leading it off for the Babson Beavers. Well, I think what everybody most wants to know is how's it going with the Milwaukee Brewers? What's that process been like, and how are you feeling about it?
Everything's been great. You know, it's been a real dream come true. Obviously, being at Trinity was the best situation for me between academics and baseball. Getting that call this summer was pretty surreal, but everything's been fantastic.
It was a great play there by Colt Harris. I'm sure you've had a few of those behind you. How does that feel as a pitcher?
That's the best feeling in the world. It's kind of a get out of jail card. Really, really helps on the mound.
It's Santos, an unfortunate line out. That's grounded to Baker. And a quick 2 down. As a pitcher, did you prefer strikeouts or groundouts like that to get through an inning faster?
For speed of the game, it's definitely groundouts. That'll get you going, but strikeouts were always my favorite. Clearly, Tier doesn't have an issue with either.
Plenty of both to go around. So how did that process come together? How did you find out that you were going to be a part of the Milwaukee Brewers organization?
Well, this summer I played in the NACBL for the Valley Blue Sox, and throughout that time, that was something I was kind of going for. That was a real dream of mine, but I knew I had a good home back here at Trinity. Kind of put together a good summer, had a few talks, and pretty much on the last day I got a call with the information from the area scout, and it all came together. It's really been a dream come true.
That's truly amazing. We're all so proud of you here. Again, congratulations on that.
Well, thank
but
you
let's
so
get
much.
back to Trinity baseball. What did you make of the game yesterday? You were here watching it. How much fun was that?
That's what it's all about. Those are the games you live for. That's why I'm back here this weekend. I wanted to see all the guys play, and it's just some real exciting baseball to watch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That gets away from Lazara. He has to make the throw. Safe. So the first base runner to reach by way of a dropped strike 3. Just gets through Lazara. What a breaking ball by Jackson Tier.
Unbelievable.
He's really feeling it today. You were teammates with him for a year. What was that like?
I just think he's a phenomenal guy on and off the field. Clearly his stuff is really, really legit. He's got a good fastball with a ton of movement. His slider's been biting all day, really causing some trouble for the Babson hitters. He's just a fun guy to be around. He's a good energy in the locker room, and really a great addition to this Tiger team.
Reigning SCAC pitcher of the year, as we said earlier. What were your first impressions of him watching him throw?
You know, he has a really firm two-seam fastball, and you know, he came from the D2 school. We heard a lot about him. Dave was really excited for him as an addition. We weren't sure quite where he would line up, and quickly as he got into live ABs, you could see his confidence on the mound was increasing, and he had a ton of success. So it was pretty evident early on that he was going to be a big role for us last year, and he sure was.
First hit of the day given up by Tier to Brant Savage. What did you see on this one?
It's just one of those sliders that backs up a touch, it looked like, just right on that white edge. So I'm sure he's going for a little further out, like right there.
There's strike 1 as Walter Sadowski comes up. Runners at the corners. First time Babson's had a base runner. That was the first hit given up by Jackson Tier all day. That's fouled off. Quick 0-2. So what have you been up to so far this year before you go to spring training?
Well, I came back in the fall after the Instructs League to finish out a little 17 hours, and then I've been home ever since last semester training, and I leave on Thursday for Arizona, where I'll go to spring training. So just kind of trying to get right, give it my best go this season, and see where it takes me.
Well, that's amazing. We'll be back with more Harrison Durow for the bottom of the 4th. Make sure to stick around on Tiger Network. Welcome back. Bottom of the 4th on Tiger Network, and Jack Peterson leads things off.
Let's go.
Drops down a bunt, a good one, and Peterson reaches. And you see Harrison clapping.
I love it.
His former roommate.
Absolutely. That's what he's all about. He's an unbelievable player, crazy athlete, so that fires me up right there.
And you know how much of a weapon he can be when he gets on first base. What's that like watching from the bullpen?
From the bullpen, I mean, you're excited because it's almost a double every single time. Last year, 25 steals, I believe, with not a single one being caught. So he's a real weapon on the base path. So it's a good spot to be in right here. And
Baker squares up to bunt, pulls it back for strike 1. We talked about it yesterday, that when Peterson's on first, he usually doesn't stay there very long.
No.
What's that like as a pitcher dealing with somebody who has that many steals?
Well, we would always do live ABs, and he was pretty quick to go, so it definitely puts a little pressure on you. Definitely not comfortable on the mound at that point, so there's a big tool beyond just being on the base path. It's creating that pressure on the pitcher too.
Hit into left. Peterson will stay at second. He rounded it looking for third. But Baker's single will put runners at first and second for the Tigers. Trying to extend what is already a 4-0 lead as Corson Hastings comes up to bat. So you're Jackson Tier in the dugout right now. What are you thinking working with this lead potentially about to be extended?
I think you just have to stay consistent. He's done really, really well to this point. Clearly, he's got 9 strikeouts, so his stuff is on today. He's just got to be grateful that his guys are giving him this run support, because that just allows him to stay comfortable on the mound. Tier definitely does the best whenever he's able to be relaxed, really have a good, clean inning. So
Peterson and Baker able to advance there, so now runners in scoring position for Corson Hastings. Is it weird watching the game?
it's definitely a little different. That was the thing I really noticed when I got here on Friday, walking up, lights on, seeing all my best friends on the field, and being behind the fence, watching from the other view was definitely a different point. But I couldn't be more proud of them as guys and what they'll accomplish this year. I just think they're some really great dudes, really good leaders. But it's definitely different not being on the field with them.
That gets away for a second. A good job by Kylie to collect it quickly enough. I'm sure, as you know, Peterson really wanted to go.
I'm sure Peterson was trying to get home there. So good job by that catcher to keep him, I guess.
2-1 count to Hastings. Still runners on first and second, nobody out. Inside, that gets away, and here comes Jack for the 5th run of the game. 5-0 Tigers. So your former roommate plates the 5th run of the day.
Yeah. Pretty quick to get home there.
Hastings will stay in now with just a runner on third and an extra run in the bank. Hastings fouls that one off, 2-2.
It's a good healthy hack there by him.
So I don't know if you saw earlier, but Ty Preston, as he was running to first base, hurt a little bit there.
Yeah, I did see that. That was too bad.
What did you make of what happened there?
It's one of those things where, I mean, he was trying to get down the line pretty good, and it just seemed like he might have pulled something in his leg or a little overextended, but it was good to see him walk it off.
Hastings walks, and now runners at the corners, and a full infield meeting, as we'll see if this is just a talk or a change. What's this situation like as a pitcher?
Well, he just got pulled. That's never the best feeling, leaving your team with the 5 runs and 2 on, but you always just have to trust the guys behind you there. Trust what the coach has, but never your most exciting day.
Pitching change here at San Antonio as we'll be back on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the bottom of the fourth on Tiger Network. Runners at the corners, nobody out, and Tristan Pearl getting his first action of the year. The first year from Connecticut. 6'2 lefty getting his first action of his collegiate career. As McDonald squares up to bunt, pulls it back. As Babson now into their bullpen. We saw the Tiger bullpen a lot yesterday. And Harrison, you and Martinez leaving. Obviously leave some question marks with that unit. What do you make of it so far?
Absolutely. I was super impressed. Some key arms had some great outings yesterday. Trajan's energy was awesome. Incredible ninth inning that he put together. So I think that really clears up some questions. Will Helling on Friday, he was unbelievable too. So I think obviously Martinez is a great arm. Tough loss, but clearly the team will do well. Dave's got that together. Dave can always put trust in arms and give good guys opportunities. So I think the bullpen will be plenty fine and clearly have some great starters.
Swing and a miss, strike three, and the first out of this fourth inning. You see Pearl losing the hat there. We saw that from Martinez a few times a few years ago.
That's a classic Martinez. I know y'all were doing the hat counter on him at times.
I wasn't here for that, but I've heard good things about it. He tightened down the hat when I got here.
Yeah.
Not too many issues last year as Max Milligan comes up again. Harrison, we were talking about this a few innings ago, but Max Milligan, apparently a bee farmer. Did you know that?
A bee farmer?
Yeah.
I had no clue. I know he's a man of many talents. He's in, I want to say, the orchestra here.
I didn't know that, really.
Yeah. I believe he is. So, man of many talents, great on the field. I guess he's good with bees too.
So it's very hot in the bee suit. As Hastings able to take second base, looked like he was in a pickle, able to get out of it, and 2 runners in scoring position. Trinity already up 5-0. Only 1 down in the inning as that pitch gets away and loses the hat once again. First year, I guess they don't quite have the size right.
I guess not. They don't know yet. So Martinez was able to nail it down a little bit. He's having the same issue though at Lafayette. I saw that the other day. So
oh, is he really?
The hat counter is back. Let's see.
Ground ball to Santos. He takes the easy out and an RBI for Max Milligan as it's 6-0 Tigers.
Good job there.
Some good situational hitting, huh, Harrison?
Absolutely. That's what you love as a coach and a player. So that's good to see for sure.
So now brings up Nick Lazera. You worked with Nick a lot. What was that like?
You know, he's a really, really talented kid. I mean, you see him on both sides of the plate. He's been working hard behind the dish too. So it's good to see him have an opportunity. And obviously a big question mark is how will you fill Tyler Pettit's spot? He played such a key role at Trinity for so long, and I know Nick was really diligent in watching Tyler through the past 2 years to make sure that he could fill that role and do a good job for our pitchers.
That gets away but fouled off. As loses the hat once again. I don't know how many innings he's going to go, but this hat counter could get quite up there.
You could. You'd have to start it now because it's already at like 3 or 4.
I already lost count. It's over.
Oh.
As Lazera goes looking, that'll end the inning, and that'll end our time here with Harrison Duro. Harrison, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back. Top of the fifth on Tiger Network as I'm back joined by Reed Rosales. 6-0 Trinity able to add on some runs. As now Ryan Hosdovic takes strike one from Tier.
Tier just still remaining so aggressive in the zone. No base runners have rattled him at all.
Ground ball to Harris. One out quickly.
Tier's just a workhorse. He goes out, he attacks, he gets people out quickly. If you're not careful enough, he'll strike you out, he'll force you to hit a bad ball. It's just what he does.
Now for the Beavers, Ike Kiley, the catcher. Swing and a miss, strike one. Kiley grounded out to second. Tier had to cover at first and did so in a pretty athletic way. Check swing, strike two.
And just two wicked breaking balls back to back, really having Kiley guessing.
Good take by Kiley. You think about how close this could be to Tier working with a no-hitter. Dropped strike three. Gives up a hit on the next at-bat. Inning would have been over. That's low, 2-2.
That's one of the reasons why no-hitters are so hard to come by, because really just one mistake could make the tower crumble.
Fouled off as Kiley stays alive. You said it in the open, Jackson Tier, a no-hitter last year against Austin College in a 10-0 win. It was a 7-inning no-hitter, but still a no-hitter and a pretty impressive feat for any pitcher. Fouled off again.
Kiley just staying alive. Hasn't had the best time at the plate, especially in his first game, but certainly knows how to remain patient, certainly knows how to remain pesky.
Popped up. Back is Baker into the outfield grass, makes the catch for out number two. So if nothing else, a good at-bat by Ike Kiley to get his pitch count up.
Yeah, try to get Tier out of this game as quickly as possible. Gets under that one. Just having to range back to get it. A little bit of an awkward catch, just the nature with the sun out.
Now throwing to Alexander Wilson. Wilson 0 for 1. Popped out to second. Working with 2 outs and nobody on. Strike called.
It seems whenever Babson comes up to bat, their innings are very quick. They really need to look to try and extend the length.
Strike two to Wilson.
So right now, this is the pace that Tier wants. He wants to keep going fast and keep going through these batters as fast as possible.
Swing and a miss, strike three. The 10th strikeout of the day for Jackson Tier as we head to the middle of the fifth on Tiger Network. Come back to the bottom of the 5th. Christian Holloway leading things off for the Tigers. Already 2 for 2 today. As he takes strike 1. See the 1 home run. The grand slam yesterday to give the Tigers the comeback win. Caught! What a catch by Brant Savage at third base. You know, he's known for his offense and his slugging, but you see why he started all 42 games at third base last year.
Yeah, they call it the hot corner for a reason. Yeah, laced on a rope. Can't hit it harder than that, but Brant Savage picking it out of the air, almost looking like Josh Young.
Now Alex Monson up. 0 for 2 today, flew out his last time up.
Talking about Harrison DeRoe and what these Tigers have done.
Fouled off by Monson.
Martinez going over to Division I school, Louisiana Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns. He's doing great work over there.
Won his first start through 5 innings. Recently lost to Rice, giving up 2 through 3, but he's got a pretty big schedule on tap. That's low.
A big schedule. Talk about Vandy, LSU, and then Houston. And to top it all off, at Minute Maid Park.
At Minute Maid. That's what a moment that's going to be for him.
It's a moment that every baseball player dreams of.
2-2 to Monson, and that's going to get him. So a hit by pitch puts the first runner on in the inning.
Talking about earlier, what hurts more, being hit by the pitch or having it fouled off. If you are going to get hit, you want it to be on a breaking ball rather than a fastball. Just got away from the pitcher. Not much more to say about it, really.
Colt Harris up 0 for 2 today as that gets away. And Monson will head to second safely. So a runner in scoring position off the wild pitch.
And Peral is just having trouble with his command there. Hit a batter, next pitch is wild. Catcher talking to him a little bit from behind home plate, trying to calm down the young pitcher.
Christian Pearl in his second inning of work in his career, lined into center. It gets down for a hit. Monson gets the green light. He's coming home, and it's 7-0 Tigers. Ball still at the wall. Running all the way around. Coming home in safely. Inside the park for Colt Harris.
Yeah, we'll see what the score is here. Very reminiscent of the World Baseball Classic. Rounder up the middle and then past the center fielder. Just missing the ball. It goes all the way to the wall, and that's way, way too much time. They're going to score every day of the week because Colt Harris, he's got some speed.
So unfortunately for Colt Harris and everybody watching, that will not be an inside the park home run. It did get by the center fielder. Nonetheless, 8-0 Tigers, bottom of the 5th. And fortunate play in center field. There will be many more opportunities for the first year. Wilson. Peterson to right, back at the wall, gone! Jack Peterson hits his first home run of the year, and it's 9-0 Tigers in the bottom of the 5th.
These runs keep pouring on Cole. But it's important to note, Cole, that a 9-run lead apparently is not safe between these two squads just yet. Trinity is going to keep battling and keep pouring it on, I'm sure. But man, the offense is really electric right now. They're really picking apart the poor freshman pitcher. It's a tough position to be in.
As Harrison DeRoe's former roommate sends it to right field in the parking lot. Now Jack Baker working with a 9-0 lead. Takes ball 1. First home run of the year for Jack Peterson. Peterson, who hit 3 home runs last season, didn't get his first until the Centenary Series, deep in the conference play. Breaking ball lands for a strike.
Really important moment for Kiley here. Being the upperclassman catcher with a young pitching core, it's his job to kind of lead them and to calm them down in situations like this.
Grounded. The Julian, 2 down.
Much needed there. Just getting the ground ball, getting that second out, because a lot of this inning has been worked with either no outs or 1 out. Tigers want to score anymore, it's going to be a 2-out rally.
Now Corson Hastings up. Hastings 0 for 1 with a walk today. As he takes ball 1. Pearl loses the hat again. That's been an issue today.
Certainly has.
Similar to Martinez. Fitting that we brought him up earlier.
Sometimes the lid just doesn't fit.
You know, Martinez in the season after, we had the hat counter for him, as you see it there. Up to 7 now. The season after, he told me that the hat was so tight that it left like a red mark on his head. Because he didn't want the hat counter anymore. But if hat counters are a correlation to Division I, then Pearl is certainly happy that he got it.
I'm sure. And Martinez, that's what he was famous for the first couple of years of his Tiger career, just losing the lid.
Hit in the air to left center. Catch made by Sadowski in the end of the inning, but not before the damage is done. 3 runs come across, ending with a Jack Peterson solo home run. We'll be back for the 6th on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the top of the 6th in San Antonio. Jackson Tier still on the mound for the Tigers as he throws ball 1. He's now hitting for Babson. The 9-hole hitter, Jack Julian, takes strike 1.
Yeah, right now, Tier putting on a clinic on how to beat a team.
Fouled off by Julian.
Just so many strikeouts, double digits, and if I'm not mistaken, Cole, none of them looking.
No, all of them swinging, all 10. That is pretty remarkable. And there's another one. Lazare to first in time, and 11 strikeouts for Jackson Tier, 1 down in the 6th. And it's official. I keep track of strikeouts on this little sheet here, and I ran out of room.
He's just having a great game overall, working fast, getting those strikeouts. Babson batters, they have struggled the entirety of this game.
So 11 strikeouts for Tier, all of them swinging. And strike 1 to Tanner Santos. 0 for 2 today. The last time he was up, an unfortunate line out to Colt Harris. Made a great leaping catch. popped up in foul ground and no play.
No better way to start the season if you're Jackson Tier. First game already in double-digit strikeouts. He's looking untouchable right now.
Only one hit given up to Brant Savage, and that's pretty understandable. Brant Savage, one of the premier players in the New England region. Grounded to Tier, and no problem for out number 2.
And no problem at all. Tier flashes the leather. Little return to sender. Back to him. See on the replay here. Great breaking ball. Forcing just a bad swing there. Maybe more of a defensive swing. 2 outs in the inning.
2 outs for Chris Basile. Take strike 1 looking. Basile, the first baseman. Also 0 for 2. That's going to be a common line for your Babson Beavers hitter. And no, this will be Justin Guest, a pinch hitter. So Coach Noon going to his bench. 0-2 pitch outside.
Yeah, I think maybe a sensible decision. If your batters aren't making contact, put in pitch hitter.
And they say he went. Lazara applies the tag. Another strikeout for Jackson Tier as we head to the middle of the 6th on Tiger Network. Bottom of the 6th inning on Tiger Network. Maddox McDonald set to lead things off. He's 0 for 3 today, struck out twice. And a new pitcher for Babson, Ian LaForest, making his first appearance of his Babson career.
Yeah, LaForest, another young pitcher. I think we're going to be seeing more from Babson.
That's strike 1 to McDonald.
Being down by 9 runs. Not impossible to come back from, as we saw yesterday, but certainly improbable.
Strike 2 to McDonald, yeah. Now, Trinity down 9 in the bottom of the 8th. They get it all back in 1 inning. So certainly within the realm of possibility. That one yanked to the backstop. They're leaving the count at 2-2.
LaForest a bit hot and cold. On one hand, 2 balls not really close to the zone in the turf. On the other hand, 2 really good breaking balls when he can get it down.
to the backstop again, and the count is full.
Always a bit frustrating as a batter when you do have a pitcher that has that kind of trouble with the command, because you have to guess, oh, is it actually going to be in the zone?
McDonald plays that one into center field. And the first hit of the day for the right fielder, Maddox McDonald.
You see the pitch, had a little cut to it, but really just kind of right down the middle. Can't do that to any of these Tiger bats because they're almost certainly going to make contact.
And already a quick meeting from the catcher, Ike Kiley, as Max Milligan comes up to the plate. Milligan 1 for 2. Pinch hitting for Ty Preston, who left this game in the first inning. Runner goes. McDonald in safely. Stolen base for Maddox McDonald, and there's another runner in scoring position for Trinity.
Good running. Some steal a base in this series already. Now getting himself into scoring position, and no outs for the Tigers.
Inside, nearly gets away. Kiley able to keep it in front of him. It's interesting, up 9-0, still keeping his foot on the gas is Scannell. And you would think that that 8th inning has something to do with it. Babson also had a 9-run inning themselves. Inside, 3-0.
But I think right now you're really seeing the difference of depth between these two teams. And Trinity having a bit better depth because, you know, that big comeback was a lot of pinch hitters.
Ball 4, and that hits him anyways. So Milligan will head to first base with a hit by pitch.
Yeah, and I'm sure that one will sting later on, but right now for LaForest, kind of had the thought of it's a lot of pitches inside that are getting away. May have threatened to hit the batter, and he ended up, you know, hitting the batter. So now even worse position.
That's got to suck for Milligan. He's got to think, if you just thrown it out of the zone anywhere else, I would have hit the first base anyways. As Lazara takes ball 1. I mean, I think normally you're happy to take your base, but in that particular situation, it's like you didn't have to do that.
A bit of a come-on, man moment.
Fouled off by Lazara, and it's 1-1.
But LaForest still struggling to find the zone. Just needs to take a deep breath and calm down, but I'm sure it's hard with McDonald at your back.
McDonald at second, Milligan waiting at first. McDonald goes, and safe as a throw to second, not in time as well. 2 stolen bases for Trinity and 2 runners in scoring position.
This is getting a bit brutal on the base paths right now. Double steal. They don't even throw it to third. They can't get Milligan at second. It's just been a series of unfortunate events for the Babson Beavers.
You talk about a series of unfortunate events. Trinity, if they can hang on to this 9-0 lead, in position to sweep the Beavers, that would be the first time they've ever done that. They've been playing this series for most of the years since 2017. Lazara hits that down the third base line, foul. But they had alternated for who had won each series. Trinity won last year, so in theory that didn't bode well for them this year. Able to complete back-to-back series wins yesterday with the comeback, now going for their first sweep. Lazara takes that to make it a full count. Nobody had swept anybody in this series. Babson hadn't swept Trinity. Trinity hadn't swept Babson. The Tigers trying to complete that sweep. Outside ball 4, and the bases are filled with cats.
No one has swept anybody, and it almost felt like it was destined that Babson would have won that second game, but Tigers going to the baseball gods and saying, no, not this time. 10-run spot. The first time they put up 10 runs in an inning back in that College World Series run just 2 years ago. They put up a 13 spot in the top of the 6th against UT Dallas in that Richardson Regional.
It's unusual to have a regional just between two teams, so that's what happened between UTD and Trinity. Trinity taking that 3-1 at a best of 5 on their way to the College World Series. Pitch outside to Holloway. Holloway 1 for 3 in this game with a single. Also reached on an E1. Did he go? No. 3-0.
Got to be careful with Holloway especially. You can kind of feel that he wants to knock it out of the park, but got to be careful.
Swing and a miss, strike 1. Holloway has the opportunity for 2 grand slams in 2 days. Not something you see too often. 3-1 pitch. Inside ball 4. And he'll take the RBI instead. 10-0 Tigers as a walk with the bases loaded occurs.
And now things just trying to get out of hand for LaForest. They will have a meeting at the mound just to calm things down, because right now it's been shaky, and all of this has happened with no outs on the board.
Still no outs for the Tigers. Now 10-0 as you see on the scoreboard. A lot of Babson pitchers who are younger getting opportunities in this series. We talked about just the lack of returning innings from the squad. Tristan Spalter, the only pitcher for Babson returning with more than 30 innings pitched last season. Grounded past the dive of Santos. 1 run comes across and the other being held up, so the bases will remain loaded with nobody out. 11-0 Tigers. An RBI single from Alex Monson.
Just keep moving down the order. Trinity getting on base in any way that they can, putting hits in when they need to. Right now, they are an efficient, well-oiled machine.
Talking to Coach Scannell today, he said he just wanted to play a good game. A good, complete game. You know, he loves consistency, passing the baton. We're seeing that a lot today. As pinch hitting for Colt Harris is Cal Coney. Got the start at designated hitter yesterday. Seen action in all 3 games in this series. Inside 2-0.
Just still struggling to find the zone. To wonder if another ball here may provoke another mound visit.
Grounded foul, and it's 2-1. It's 5 straight Tigers have reached base. Most recently, Alex Monson walking in a run. Check swing, 1 around.
And really, you just feel like for Babson, you just need that first out, just 1, and then things may change.
2-2 pitch to Coney. Hit in the air to right, it falls. Finds the gap as it's still rolling to the wall, and runs are going to come in for the Tigers. Coney's going to have to sprint back to first base, dives. The throw gets away, but Coney's just going to stay at first. Runner at second moves to third. As 2 runs come in to score, it's 13-0.
A bit of troubles on the base paths, but thankfully for the Tigers, the throw getting away. Bit of a fielding mistake by Tanner there. Ball goes to the wall, then trying to throw it to first as Coney was going to second, but the runner at second didn't go to third. So he was like, wait a moment. Then he had to come back, but thankfully for him, ball got away.
Ball 1 to Jack Peterson, who remains in this game. Now 13-0 Trinity with runners at the corners. Peterson 2 for 3 today. The last time he was up, a solo homer to right field.
Yeah, Peterson power maybe. Trying to clear the bases this time.
Hit in the air to deep right field. back at the wall. It's gone again. A 3-run homer for Jack Peterson, his second of the game, and Trinity continues to blow it open.
What did I just say, Cole? Peterson power. What a rip into right field. You can see the ball bouncing into the parking lot. He is certainly happy with himself. All the smiles in the Tiger dugout as Trinity is just blowing away Babson. And you can't see it on your screen right now, but you look at the replay, just so much power on that bat. And just everyone knew it was gone. Outfielders didn't even really move.
The 3-run homer ends the day for Ian LaForest. As a new pitcher comes in for the Babson Beavers, it's 16-0 Trinity on Tiger Network. Welcome back on Tiger Network. As we are still in the bottom of the 6th inning, 16-0. Trinity opened up a lead on a Jack Peterson 3-run homer. A pinch hitter for Trinity, it's Cam Champness, seeing his first action of the season. Still nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. Inside from the new pitcher for Babson, Cole Vellis. Made 9 appearances out of the bullpen last season, a 2-0 record ERA of 4.22. He made New Mac All-Conference last season, so just getting him his first action of the series.
And at this point, Babson just you're trying to get out of San Antonio now, down 16 runs.
As ball 4, and he loses him. So another consecutive base runner to reach for the Tigers, as that is now 8 in a row without an out.
Being down 16. Cole, I don't know about you. I'd call you crazy if you told me that anyone can come back from a 16-run deficit, especially one that has been like this.
Now up for the Tigers, a 9-hole hitter, Corson Hastings. Check swing strike 1. Hastings started this game at first base. But if you think about going to the last game in the 8th inning, Trinity put up 10 runs in the 8th. This is a 26-0 run put up by the Tigers.
All of this damage in the bottom of the 6th coming with no outs on the board. Babson is still not even out of the woods. They haven't even entered it yet.
0-2 pitch to Hastings. Outside ball 1. Runner on first is Champness. He got on with a walk. As Vellis will try to get the Beavers out of the 6th inning. Fouled off by Hastings.
Now Vellis in a better count than really LaForce was ever in with any Tiger batter. 1-2 count, forcing Trinity to take more defensive ABs.
Inside 2-2. Trinity up 16-0 with 13 hits on the board. Babson nothing, obviously, but one hit as Jackson Tier is quietly working an incredible outing, 11 strikeouts. They haven't been able to touch him. Hastings pops this up. Julian makes the catch, and the first out of the inning.
Big sigh of relief. They get to throw up. One down. Signal to everybody. It's been quite a long time since Babson got that first out, and the Tigers have put up plenty of runs here in the bottom of the sixth to show for it.
So now Pierce Matthews grounds that one to third. Could be two, throw to first, not in time, so they avoid the double play, but Babson collects the second out. Some defensive substitutions for the Beavers. That was Justin Guest at first base, replacing Chris Basile. And Tanner Santos has moved over to shortstop.
Some different faces at different positions. And as soon as they get the first out, they get the second. It just really changes your mood in a game.
Milligan pops it up. And catch made by Santos for out number 3. So Babson gets out of the 6th inning, but damage done. 16-0 Tigers as they put up a 7 spot. Welcome back to the top of the 7th on Tiger Network. Jackson Tier still out there for his 7th inning of work. He'll face Luke Tanner, who has struck out twice in this game. Some defensive substitutions for the Tigers, particularly in the infield. Ken Champness takes over at shortstop. Cal Coney at second base. Kai Tinker remains at third.
Cole, for such a quality starter, you don't really expect a pitcher like Tier to be starting on Sundays.
Swing and a miss, strike one. No, you don't. You would think that he'd be the Friday night starter. That's Shavana, or even Saturday. But not the case. The Tigers like to throw him on Sunday because they view that as one of the most important games of the series. Because you know the situation. You either salvage a game, like Babson's trying to do today, swing and a miss from Tanner, throw to first in time, and another strikeout from Jackson Tier. So you either salvage a game when you're down 0-2, you can complete the sweep, which the Tigers are on pace to do right now, or you win the series on that final day. And a quote from Dave Smith that sums it all up, the pitching coach, that what better way to wake up on a Sunday than to know that Tier is throwing?
It's got to be such a comforting feeling knowing that you have Jackson Tier. And really, you can see the wind picking up as our outfield camera is shaking a little bit. We'll see how that affects any fly balls that get hit up because a gust of wind, that makes fielding all the more difficult.
Swing and a miss from Savage, and it's 1-1. Savage 1 for 2 today. This is only Babson's 3rd time through the order. 3rd time that they're seeing Jackson Tier. Savage the only Beaver with a hit today. Located strike 2.
Fortunately for Luke Tanner previously, dreaded hat trick day for him. 3 strikeouts. Tier has taken the D1 transfer to test.
Check swing. 2-2. Tier with 13 strikeouts on the day. We did check. The record is 20 in a game. Probably not going to get there, but still a very impressive day for Jackson Tier. Breaking ball. High, ball 3.
High ball 3, says the umpire. Thought he may have looped it into the zone, but no, giving Savage the benefit of the call.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tier gets him anyways, his 14th strikeout of the game. 2 down in the 7th.
No benefit for the call? Well, Tier just says, I'll get him swinging. Don't worry. Just keep on working, Jackson Tier. His batters can't touch him.
It's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Jackson Tier going back to the last inning. As Sadowski in to hit for the 3rd time today. He has also struck out twice. Swing and a miss, strike 1. I don't know what Tier's pitch count is, but you would get the feeling this would be his last inning, the score being where it is. So that's high, 2-1. Tier struck out 5 of the last 6 hitters. And you see the pitch count now for Jackson Tier, 81. Now a 3-1 count. Tier has not walked a batter yet. Sadowski could be the first. Ball 4. So the first free pass handed out by Jackson Tier.
Yeah, good job by Sadowski there. Like you said, Coley, had struck out twice, this time taking a much more patient approach at the plate. Draws that walk and gets Babson the rare base runner.
Only the 3rd base runner they've had all game. So that rides inside on Hosdovic for ball 1. Hosdovic 0 for 2 today. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Struck out the first time he was up, grounded out to 2nd most recently. Hit in the air to right. Catch made, and that ends the inning. So Tiers through 7, no runs on the board, 14 strikeouts, only the 1 walk. Still 16-0 Tigers as we head to the bottom of the 7th.
Leading off for Trinity, number 31, Diego Gomez.
Back for the bottom of the 7th on Tiger Network. Another pinch hitter for Trinity, Diego Gomez. The first year seeing his first action of his Trinity career. Fouls that back.
A pinch hitting for Lazara. Trying to work a good count.
Outside ball. Now 2-1 to Gomez. Just low, 3-1. So a good patient at bat by Diego Gomez.
So John Nowak coming in to catch.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. Nowak got the start yesterday for Babson, replacing Ike Kiley. Grounded foul, and Gomez stays alive. Cole Vellis still in throwing, his second inning of work. Does get credit for a full inning, even though he came in relief. Gomez rips it to left. Over the head, towards the wall. Gomez goes into second for a stand-up double, and what a way to begin his Tiger career. Go, Diego, go.
Certainly, Cole. Just rips that one. Shows off the power, the muscle. Go, Diego, go is certainly correct because that ball went a very long way. See it on the replay. Just gets the barrel on the ball. And it carries, and no one can get to it because that ball was laced.
It's ball one to another pinch hitter, Kai Tinker. Got in the last 2 starts at third base.
Another defensive substitution for Babson. Luca Rubin coming into right field for Luke Tanner.
Ball 2 to Tinker. Working with a runner on second. For those of you who are still wondering why we're playing, no 10-run rule in interconference games. Both of these teams wanting to get as many innings as they can. It's a good opportunity to get young guys into the game. If this were SCAC play, the game would be over.
And I'm sure Jackson Tier knows that the best. The no-hitter being a 7-run or 7-inning no-hitter.
3-0 to Tinker. Ball 4. So once again, the first 2 Tigers reach in an inning. First and second, nobody out.
And we're going to provoke a mound visit here. We'll see if it's the end of the day. And yes, looks like a curtain call.
So another new pitcher in for the Babson Beavers. We'll see who it is when we come back. First and second, 2 runners on in the bottom of the 7th on Tiger Network. As a new pitcher for Babson, it's Jimmy Wick from Fort Lauderdale and a pinch hitter for the Tigers, John Adrian Dioli. Fouls that one back. Jimmy Wick made 4 appearances last year for Babson, all out of the pen. 3.2 innings pitched. And the first appearance of the season for John Adrian Dioli. Strike 2. Dioli, a multi-sport athlete, is also the long snapper for the football team.
It's always cool to see multi-sport athletes and on any team.
Outside 1 and 2. Dioli, one of 2 members of the football team that also is on the baseball team. Jarrett Phillips being the other one who's a defensive back. See if we see him in this game. Popped up but foul. And we'll do it again at 1 and 2.
Once again for Babson and Wick, just really trying to find that first out, prevent last inning from happening again. Try to put a goose egg up for the Tigers.
Taken, but high 2 and 2. Dioli continues to work this at bat. Fouled off again.
Dioli just staying in the box, getting those foul tips, making Wick really work for it in his first batter faced.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. First out of the inning for the Babson Beavers as Dioli will head back to the dugout.
A good start for Wick there, just getting the strikeout. Now with Babson having an out, double play on the table, much better position than last inning.
Now Cal Coney, who's 1 for 1 today with a single. Strike 2.
You're seeing Wick being very aggressive in the zone, just going at these batters, just trying to either force them to draw contact or to get them looking.
There's the contact, but foul.
If you want to speed up any baseball game, going right at the batter is certainly a way to do it. Not messing around with any pitch around pitches.
Low ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Jimmy Wick, and there's 2 down in the inning. As we're going to see another pinch hitter here. Be Hunter Nevels coming up for the Tigers, making his first at-bat of the year. I don't know if you remember last year, but Hunter Nevels had kind of a Linsanity run towards the middle of the year. Just wasn't able to get out. So he'll try and replicate that in his first at-bat of the year. 2 down, 2 on for the Tigers. Wick trying to close out the 7th. High 2-0.
It's just really games like these where the Tigers get to flex their depth, getting a lot of guys who may not normally get time in a game.
Now 3-0. So Wick, who struck out the last 2 batters, in danger of losing this one. A walk would load the bases once again. Strike 1. Assume a red light situation there for Nevels.
Had to be. Otherwise, pitch down Main Street like that, got to swing at it.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. So from 3-0 to full. Strike 3. Nevels goes down looking, and that ends the 7th. No further damage for the Tigers, still 16-0 in San Antonio. Top of the 8th on Tiger Network, and a new pitcher in for Trinity. It's Josh Witte, getting his first appearance in a Tiger uniform. Ike Kiley, still hitting for Babson. He's 0 for 2 today. But Witte, the transfer from Grinnell College, another Division III school, coming in after a great day from Jackson Tier. You see it on your screen. 14 strikeouts, 1 walk, a whip of .29, and no runs.
It's a perfect start for Tier, just missing that perfect game.
That gets by. Witte, always rocking the very impressive mustache. He's had it his entire time here. Didn't get into any games last year, getting his first action today. Kiley swings through that, deep to right, back at the wall, it's gone. Ike Kiley puts Babson on the board, as it's now 16-1.
Now I think we're going to be hard-pressed for a comeback bid, Cole. But right now, just trying to leave San Antonio with as much momentum as possible. Because when you are down in a game like this, getting a home run like that may be a big, more mental boost to the team.
So Kiley gets the solo home run, his first of the season. Wilson pops that up. Hastings under it, backpedals and makes the catch as he falls to the turf. The important thing is that he collected it and 1 down in the inning.
Yeah, and that wind, that's what makes those fly balls even harder, because at any point a wind gust can jerk the ball left or right, and you just really got to keep your eye on it.
Now hitting for Babson, Xander Teeter. Swings for that, strike 1. Teeter made a pitching appearance in the bottom of the 8th inning. That's how the Tigers come back. Now getting action offensively for Babson. That gets away. 1-1.
Talk about leaving San Antonio with momentum. Babson heads back to Massachusetts to play a game at Brandeis, team out of the UAA.
Pitch gets away from Whitty again. That game last year it didn't happen because of weather. I question how often that game actually does happen when you schedule a game in Massachusetts in early March.
Yeah, it's one of the difficulties that the New England teams have. It's why a lot of them go down to Florida or come down here to Texas.
Hit into right and a base hit for Xander Teeter. So the Beavers have one on with one out. But you talk about that Florida trip, they'll play some good schools, including Baldwin Wallace, March the 9th at Port Charlotte. And that was a game that really turned Babson's season around last year. If you're seeing what looks to be an 0-3 start today for Babson fans, don't panic. They were 2-7 last year. They get the win against Baldwin Wallace, who's gone to the College World Series in back-to-back seasons. And they proceeded to win 12 of their next 13.
Yeah, Baldwin Wallace, the number 3 ranked team in the nation right now. They also play Denison over there. They're no slouches either. Number 16th team in the nation. This Babson team does not shy away from good competition.
Grounded. Could be 2. And they'll just settle for 1. A good play by Champness at short to get the lead runner. 2 down in the inning.
Not doing anything all too flashy for this Tiger infield. Just getting the out, playing it safe. No reason to attempt to throw that you may overthrow or hit the runner with.
Justin Guest up for the second time today. Normally a catcher playing some first base with all the substitutions that the Babson Beavers have seen so far. High ball 1. We talk about the schedule for the Tigers. They have a 4-game series coming up against Whitewater starting on Thursday, ending on Saturday. Then some midweek games. UMHB and DeSales come to town. UMHB, in an upset, beat the Tigers on this field last season, a game where Trinity left 14 men on base in a 4-3 loss. Guest plays it into right, and it finds the gap. Runner will stop at third. Guest goes to second, and he's safe with a 2-out double. It's incredible how much easier it is to hit the baseball now that Jackson Tier's not in the game.
It shows how big of an impact Tier has. Babson, the bats were just looking cold, and they were guessing against Tier, but now way more comfortable, it seems, now that the new pitcher is out.
And that'll be the day for Josh Whitty. Gets 2 outs in the 8th inning. Somebody else will come in to finish the job, as we'll come back on Tiger Network. Top of the 8th, runner on 2nd and 3rd for the Babson Beavers as the Tigers lead this game 16-1, and a new pitcher for Trinity, Brandon Morio, the first year seeing his first action in a Trinity Tigers uniform. That's the first pitch from Morio, outside, ball 1. And the first at-bat of this series for Luca Rubin. Outside, ball 2. Brandon and his twin brother James both came here together. It's both their first years. James with some forearm tightness, couldn't pitch this weekend. Hit in the air to deep left field. Back at the wall, and the catch is made by Nevels. So a loud out to end the inning as we head to the bottom of the 8th on Tiger Network. Bottom of the 8th inning in the Alamo City, 16-1 Trinity trying to complete the sweep of the Babson Beavers. As Jimmy Wick's first pitch of the inning rides inside on Cam Champness. Second at bat for Cam Champness today. First action he's seen all year. Line to right, down, a fair ball. Headed into the corner, Champness rounds first, headed for second with a stand-up lead-off double.
This Tigers team is not letting that 15-run lead slow them down at all. Just a rope down the right field line. And that perfect spot going into that corner. Every outfielder hates it when it goes into the corner like that because it's just pretty annoying to get to. Just rides nearly all the way to the wall and bouncing off that bullpen little post to make it awkward.
Ball 1 to Corson Hastings, one of the few Tigers who's remained in this game the entire way. An important note for Cam Champness, that's his first hit of his Tigers career. Seen that a few times this weekend. Lots of first years and second years getting into the game for the first time. We just saw the first hit from Diego Gomez. Just an inning ago. And then, of course, Pierce Matthews getting his first hit, a 3-run homer in the 8th inning rally. I think that got it to the point where we were like, okay, the game's a little closer now. Probably still not going to come back, though. And we were wrong.
Couldn't be happier to be more wrong either. But you love to see it. So many players getting those first milestones.
3-1 pitch to Hastings. High, ball 4. And once again, the first 2 batters reach in the inning.
And for Jimmy Wick, familiar situation with the runner at his back and the runner to his left. But certainly didn't let it get to him last time out.
And here is Pierce Matthews. See the 3 RBIs on that screen. All by way of one swing to make it 14-9 at the time. Strike called on the outside edge.
Yeah, really good location on that breaking ball. You're seldom going to see a batter swing at that.
0-2 pitch. Grounded. Could be 2. On to first, not in time. As Matthews reaches safely on the fielder's choice, Babson gets one of the lead runners, and there's runners at the corner with 1 down in the inning.
Matt just trying to make sure that the Tigers don't get another run this inning. But still threatening.
Max Milligan up. He's also been in the game almost this entire time. Pinch ran for Ty Preston in the first inning. It's been there ever since. Fouled off down the third base line.
And what a game for Milligan. Coming in when he certainly wasn't expecting to, and putting in that impact hit.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
It's the kind of thing you want to see from your players that are on the bench, that they can come into any situation and make an impact.
Lined, but foul.
But that one would have stayed fair. That would have been mega trouble for Babson.
I'm still wrapping my head around 700 pounds per barrel. Strike 3 as Milligan goes looking. And the bee farmer will head back to the dugout.
Yeah, that's got to sting.
2 down, runners at the corners. As Matthias Riding gets his first at-bat of the day. Takes strike 1 on the outside edge. I mean, like, how do those trucks drive? They got to be like the amount of, like, you know when you see a truck and it's just sinking, like it's sitting completely on the tire? That's what I feel like would happen.
The oversized load. Ever see like the big windmill, like fans driving down the highway? Kind of reminds me of that. Have the oversized load car in front of them and behind them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but honey, glad that they're doing it, because I do like me some honey.
Popped up to center, and the catch made for out number 3. End of 8 in San Antonio, 16-1. Tigers lead the Beavers.
First Tigers in the bottom of the 8th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 players left on base. Up to the 9th inning. Number 9, leading off, Babson. 16, Brent Savage.
Top of the 9th in the Alamo City. Brandon Morio remains on the mound. Trying to close out this game. Has a 15-run lead to work with. As ball 1 to Brant Savage.
And the Morio brothers, and pitching's their game. They're not like the other starters who get all the fame right now.
Grounded off Morio. Going to be a tough play, but made by Coney. but not in time. Thought he had it for a second.
I thought he had it for a second, too. Just unfortunate going off of Morio there. If it didn't get slightly slowed down by him. But sometimes it's just how baseball goes. But it's always a little scary when it goes back to the pitcher. Good to see that.
Close play. I thought he got him. On the replay, looked a little closer. Strike one to Walter Sadowski. Inside ball one. Runner on first is Savage. Up the middle could be two. Coney bobbles, goes to second for the lead runner, and they retire Savage there for one out.
I've seen that a couple of times this series now. It is a really good hit right to Coney, but just a little bobble that prevents the double play. Sure, he'll want to make it next time.
So one down for Ryan Hosdovic. 0 for 3 today, still hitting 400 in the series. Outside 1-1.
It's always interesting to see first-year pitchers, to see what they have, what they're going to do, how they handle the pressure of their first collegiate appearance.
Now 2-1.
But slightly less pressure for Morio, given the 15-run cushion he has.
Yeah, you'd assume his job just to go out there and throw strikes at this point. At 3-1 count.
Really working that breaking ball, trying to locate it in the zone.
Does so there. 3-2.
Hosdovic. It's going to be a question of whether he swings or whether he takes the gambit that Morio will miss the zone again.
And he does miss the zone. A walk puts runners on first and second for Babson, still one down in the inning.
One down in the inning. But double play opportunity on the table. Sure, Babson doesn't like hearing that. Certainly wouldn't want to end the series on a game-ending double play.
Strike one. That was a problem for them in game one. Seemed to calm it down in game two. Double play possibility in order in the top of the ninth. Grounded past Champness into left field. Runner gets the green light. He comes around to score, and it's 16-2.
And the RBI for John Nowak. And we talk about double plays. Nowak doesn't hit into many of them. In his entire career, he's only hit into 2 double plays. So maybe not the guy to try and induce the ground ball on, because the ball just has a way of moving when the stick contacts the ball.
Alexander Wilson takes strike one, 0 for 3 today. Still runners on first and second, one out. An extra run on the board for the Beavers. Hit in the air to right field. Catch made by Matthews. And the runners stay where they are, 2 down in the ninth.
I'm just looking for that magical final out to complete a series opening sweep for Trinity. Be a great way to start off the season and give them great momentum moving into Whitewater.
Tigers started the season 1-3 last year, dropped their opening series to Birmingham Southern, and then lost game 1 to Hardin-Simmons.
That was a really good Birmingham Southern team that year. Top in the nation. They're still really good and potentially could meet in the tournament if the Tigers do make it.
We've seen that before. Ground ball, but foul. And it's 0-2. So Babson down to their last strike. Xander Teeter trying to extend this game with runners on first and second. High ball one. One-two pitch from Morio. 2 down in the ninth. Grounded to Hastings, throws to Morio. Was it in time? No. And Teeter will extend this game. He loads the bases with 2 down.
I wonder if it wasn't in time or if Morio just maybe didn't touch the bag. He kind of fell over around it. See it on the replay here. The toss. Yeah, I think he missed the bag. Just out of position for the young Morio. Tried to ground it, or tried to field it at first.
So now the base is filled with Beavers, as Tanner Santos still up for Babson. Unlike Trinity, Babson's left several of their starters in, including Savage and Santos. 2-0.
Now it's all a learning experience for Brandon Morio.
Fouled off, and it's 2-1.
It's always good to see a good crowd, even on the Sunday game for this Tiger squad.
Some good crowds this opening weekend. If the Tigers can hang on and avoid shenanigans, about to go to a 3-0 start.
Just remembering from that game too, that grand slam, the crowd got so loud listening to it on the replay.
3-1 pitch. Hit in the air to left, it falls, and a run will score for Babson. And 2 runs in, actually. So now 16-4 as the Beavers get some back.
Oh, it would be miraculous if Babson comes back here. I'm very doubtful about those prospects, just the nature of the game and how it's played. You'd expect a mistake at some point.
Guest grounds that one foul to the Tiger bullpen. Yeah, this would be something else. A lot of the Tigers' damage yesterday in the 8th inning done with no outs. This would be with 2. The first 2 batters were retired. Riding able to keep that in front of him, and it's 1-1.
It's not as if they haven't had opportunities to put this game away. Just a little out of position for Morio on the first attempt.
2-1, ball low.
And then a little looper into left. A little unfortunate hit. But they've had their opportunities to get out of this one.
Grounded to Tinker. Throw to first, high and away. 2 runs are going to score for the Beavers, and this game will continue.
Yeah, just another missed opportunity there. Grounder, that's as routine of a play as you can get. Tinker just sails it over the head of his teammate. Didn't look like he had that much trouble fielding it. It's not like he needed to rush the throw either. It's just those kind of mistakes keep this game going.
So now we're going to have a meeting. Score is now 16-6, and that'll be the day for Brandon Morio. Kyle Russo will come in to collect the final out of the 9th on Tiger Network. Two down in the bottom of the ninth in San Antonio. Runner on first base. Allowed to reach due to the E5 that allowed 2 more runs to come in for Babson. As Luca Rubin will try to extend this game against the new pitcher for Trinity, Kyle Russa, seeing his first action of the season. And Guest does move over to second base due to defensive indifference. Low 2-0.
And Trinity has had plenty of opportunities to get out of this game. Just a couple of either mental mistakes or bloop hits keeping it alive.
Popped up. No play.
As you said earlier, Cole, Babson's really making contact with the ball more now that Tier isn't on the mound. But good thing for Tier to get Trinity this lead and hold it.
Strike called. Good frame by Riding.
Really good frame, really good breaking ball as well. Get that a little lower, you could get him chasing.
Babson once again down to their last strike. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Rubin stays alive.
Nearly a foul tip into the glove. Kind of went off the top of it. But still, Babson's alive.
Guest the runner on second. 2 down in the ninth. Fouled off again.
In a game where Babson has struck out plenty of times, I'm sure they don't want to end the series on a strikeout.
14 strikeouts by Jackson Tier alone, who's in line for the win. Strike 3. Russa gets the final out of the ninth, and the Tigers win. They complete the series sweep over Babson and begin the year 3-0.
Just what a great all-around game by the Tigers. You see the Trinity scoring in nearly every inning, and the pitching of Jackson Tier. You can see the zeros on the scoreboard for Babson. And get rid of some of those mistakes. Really, Babson had 2 runs of their own accord that didn't come in off of Tiger mistakes. So really good game on both sides of the ball. Hitting, pitching, and for the most part, fielding makes it for a sweet opening series sweep.
Tigers win game 3, 16-6. They score at least 8 runs in all 3 games to begin the season. That's it for us this weekend on Tiger Network. For everyone in the control room and Reed Rosales and Harrison Durow, who was kind enough to join us this weekend, I'm Cole Isaacson saying so long from San Antonio.